Welcome to the Apples in the Sink podcast. This is podcast 11. Today you have Jason.
John.
And Jenny.
Hi, Jenny.
Hi. Jenny has been in the comics before. Denny?
Denny.
And
Jan and Denny.
Dan and Jen.
I really creative on that.
Oh, all right.
I flipped Dan and Jenny and Jan and Denny.
And actually, it's my initials. My name initials are actually Jan.
Oh my God!
There we go.
Did you not know?
You were that
on
smart,
purpose?
John.
Yes,
That's how
I
that
did.
works.
Oh,
Yes, I did.
that was exactly what it was.
I totally forgot about that.
We were Jan and Ken, my sister and I.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But she has been in the comic quite a few times.
She's the ginger.
Yeah, you posted one.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago about the
hairs?
the ginger coven. That actually happened. I was shaving and I was going in close, to examine before I shaved. Guy thing. You look for, if you use an electric razor, okay, you look for pimples before you shave. Because then what you do is you shave and then you pop the little pimples, and then when you put the aftershave on, it takes care of everything all at once. It's magic. So I'm in there looking and I'm like, is that a red hair? No, that's pluck out. That's a red hair. There's like a field of them. That's not right. So I figured you're to blame. I don't know.
We are an invasive species.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
We're like
crab
kudzu.
The
crabs.
Wiccans.
AIDS.
Mm. Ginger AIDS.
Ginger AIDS.
It's not ginger ale.
Oh,
It's like ginger ale, but not as cool.
Not nearly
What?
as cool. No.
Doesn't go with whiskey at all. I don't get it.
You beat me to it.
Excuse me.
Oh, she goes.
That
okay.
goes with
Very
whiskey.
I
well
know.
with whiskey. Yes, you do. Yeah. Two things that we always talk about before that we start. One is what's everybody drinking? What do you have, Jay?
Just $2 truck
Really?
wine from Trader Joe's.
Nothing bad. Nothing wrong with that. I'm doing my traditional Jack and Coke. No surprise there. You look like you have a coffee.
I have iced coffee because we were at
Ooh.
football. We were at a football game outside.
Okay.
And I knew
It's
I'd be
hot
up
here,
late,
by the way.
Yes.
and I have to be
Lukewarm.
up early.
Okay.
So I
It's-
thought iced coffee.
Iced coffee.
There we
Because
go.
You just
otherwise
drink-
I'll be sleeping.
Sure. And also, this is an effect that iced coffee has on gingers. It turns them into New York Jews. It's amazing.
L'chaim.
Oh boy, you're feeling a little verklempt.
Do you got the locks?
No.
Mashuga.
The other thing that I always talk about at the beginning, and this won't apply to you so much, but what's in your instant queue?
I just watched Fed Up before you came over.
I told you about
Documentary about child obesity in America and about sugar, and
It's Katie Couric, right?
I don't know.
Oh, she used to be in the Today Show, blonde chick.
I know who Kay Couric is. I don't know who the
See, I told you
narrator
about it because
was.
I had heard about it, but I haven't actually watched it yet.
fantastic documentary.
And it's going to piss you off.
I'd actually like to announce that I don't even know what the hell you meant by instant queue.
Netflix.
Netflix Instant Queue. What Instant Queue is like, you pick stuff that you'd like to watch right away. A lot of times it's series. Like in my Instant Queue, the last season of Doctor Who finally popped up.
Oh, I have that too.
So I'm
Yeah.
burning through that. I am always going back to Friends and MASH. And
So
I'm
what
not-
you're saying is I'm like old school with the
The VHS.
still
Yes, you
log in-
are.
You log into my Netflix account, so
No, we tried to first. Your little person, the other
Oh
day.
yeah,
Savannah.
yeah. Sav.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, we tried for Sav to get My Little Pony, and we
Yeah.
actually, between Sarah and I, could not make.
Netflix work and the
We
TV.
couldn't make Netflix work, and then we couldn't make the YouTube on my phone play to the TV. So
Wow.
we bailed
Huh.
because that's way more technologically advanced than we are. Maybe Savannah could have done it for us.
I hijacked their
Probably.
television.
She
I go
plays
over-
Minecraft on the iPad.
I go over to their house and I say, hey, did you see this clip? And I just launch it from my phone to their TV.
I've done it in the past. I just couldn't make it happen for Savannah. And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. You can watch PBS Kids. I have paid for 14 kids channels. There's got to be something that you can watch.
Boy. Yes.
She loves Phineas and Ferb now.
Oh, I love
that's
me some
cute.
Phineas and
I do
Ferb.
like
It's
that
pretty
one.
You
good.
turned
It
me
is
on to
good.
that.
Yeah, that's the only
Phineas
reason
and
I
Ferb,
started
yeah.
watching is you told me that with
It's really
Sarah.
cute.
It is. I enjoy it a lot.
And highbrow. There's a lot of intelligent stuff.
Yes,
in
yes,
There
there is.
Yes, there's Doctor Who references as well. By the
Same
way.
with My Little Pony.
Is there
There's an
really?
episode of My Little Pony
I
where
don't know that I can bring myself to watch that.
no, it's fine, especially the
I
little
hadn't
girl. It's
until
okay.
This week.
It's okay. I don't mind it, but there was an episode where in the same episode they go over Doctor Who, The Big Lebowski, Metal Gear Solid, and a couple other references. I mean, they just hammered the nerd
Wow.
references hard.
Boy. Speaking of, and I think we're going to jump a little bit here, but we also talk about current events as far as like gaming news and whatnot. And the big news that's coming up but hasn't happened yet that I know you're both going to be excited about is the Lego Dimensions game, which comes out next month. which is basically like the Lego Marvel games and all those Lego games, except it encompasses all of that. It's got the Batman, it's got the Lego movie characters and whatnot that you can play. It also has Portal, Back to the Future, Doctor Who,
And it just announced
Scooby Doo, and I don't
Simpsons.
know. The Simpsons are in there. There's a few other huge names that are you can basically interchange all the different worlds and whatnot. But the beauty of it is, it's going to be like the
Amiibos and Disney
Nintendo.
Infinity.
Yeah, the Disney Infinity.
You have little characters. Okay,
I know what
this is what the
Infinity
Lego
is.
Dimension things is going to be.
Skylanders. Remember that godforsaken thing? You had me looking for a Skylander for one of your nephews.
I did for one of the nephews,
Really?
but I hadn't seen it.
Oh, okay.
It's a base that you get.
Well, that's exactly what this is
So
going
it's
to be
going to
for
be a
Lego.
Lego base that has a portal on it, and depending on what figures you can get, that's the ones that you play. Well, the figures come with a little playset, so there's like you can get Marty and Doc Brown with a little DeLorean.
Okay, I'm going to have to get all of these just because they
gonna
purposely
have to.
found
Mike's
all
gonna
these
need
things.
This. Is this
Yeah.
Oh,
when is
yes.
it coming out? When is the
September.
release date?
Yeah, September.
So
So
that's
it's
what
gonna be
Christmas is going to be
Christmas.
all about.
Because
Oh, yeah.
Mike's going to want the game itself. Kirsten will
We
want
really
the,
have to coordinate this because I'm
Yes.
going to get them two for them. So.
Doctor Who, a little TARDIS. You can get all.
Oh,
of the
so
different
that's for Jennie.
doctors.
That's
yes. And I should point out, by the way,
I need Amelia Ponge.
Oh,
they'll
the
have
puns.
they'll have all the. They
Side
say they're going to
characters.
have basically everybody you can think of from the show.
Yeah.
I saw
There-
K9. That was in one of the
Did you?
videos.
There you go. I have on more than one occasion, I'd like to point out, gone over to your house, and you've been playing one of like Lego Marvel or.
I do. I like the Lego games. I don't like to. I don't like any of the kill games that you guys play. I just like to wander around and find things.
Collecting.
Yeah.
You were huge into. Oh boy, what was the name of that game? Mist.
I liked Mist.
Oh,
and
by
Riven.
the
I
way-
played those through
There's going to be a new Mist coming out too.
from the same manufacturer from Ubisoft.
Yes,
I really think that's who did those.
that sounds
know.
right. Coming out should be this season or beginning of first quarter next year.
Okay.
Is this gonna be like
Okay.
Mist 3?
No, what it was for the Oculus Rift, but they're doing it for normal stuff too.
Okay. Oculus Rift is the big
VR.
3D VR thing, virtual reality thing
Okay.
that got bought out by Microsoft.
Yeah, and then they divided it into the augmented reality and the virtual reality. While we're still on video games, I want to bring up Jonas, who's been in the comic a couple times.
Yeah, the kid
Shirtless
with
guy.
No shirt.
That's Jonas.
In fact, when I drew the original character in my character Bible, quote unquote, no shirt. There's no
Yeah.
point.
He never wore shirts.
Nope.
So, anyways, he got me into playing this newer version of Elder Scrolls Online.
Skyrim or whatever.
It's not
called.
Skyrim. It's Elder Scrolls.
Okay.
Skyrim was the game before.
Oh, then I got it wrong in the comic.
Yes, you did.
Sorry.
So, I was playing it, and I hit a point, and I was so stupid happy. High school astronomy finally paid off.
Uh-oh.
Finally paid off. There was, okay, we have to mark these 4 pillars with the cycles of the moon. I'm like, oh, that's fine. It's, what is it? New, waxing, full, and waning.
I didn't know that.
I did know those.
I knew it, but the only reason I know that was from high school astronomy. I did it real quick, did it the first time, opened the whatever door I had to get in. I'm like, oh, awesome. Didn't have to look anything up.
Okay.
I love when high school pays off, and it's usually in stupid ways like that.
Then I got to ask you, all the classes that you took in high school, and I'm sure you thought a lot of them were bullshit. I know a lot of mine were.
Yeah, math. Yeah, I use trig all the time.
Yeah. Solve for X.
You didn't make it to
you.
trig in high
Yes, I did.
school.
I was in trig
You
last
went
year.
4 years?
I did.
You went 4 maths?
I did go for it.
How did you go 4 maths?
Barely. I can't do algebra, but I could do anything where I could see shapes.
Right.
I'm a visual.
I did better.
I did
better
geometry
in
and
the
I did trig.
geometry,
It's
but
fine.
I couldn't make it through algebra 2 to get to trig.
I couldn't do algebra.
I couldn't get.
I
to
had to do
geometry.
summer school. I did 5
algebra.
maths technically. That was what messed me up. Because I took one during the summer, then I was back on the normal schedule.
So, of all the classes that you took, what's the one that stands out as like the one that you took the most out of?
I'm going to be a super nerd for saying this. I had an American English / American history class, which is the class I learned how to debate in.
Oh.
Like, have intelligent conversations and actual hold my own weight debates.
Okay.
And so I think that is probably the number one class. And the teachers were fantastic. And that was the time I realized that, hey, I'm actually smarter than I put the effort into.
Mm-hmm.
Because the teachers were pissed at me that I wouldn't go to AP or anything. I'm like, sorry, I'm already doing fire science. I'm doing college credits already.
Yeah,
I can't do advanced placement.
Nobody needs American history when you're trying to put out a fire too.
Yeah.
This
Why wasn't Huck Finn here? Fire you go. I will not paint this fence. Wait, that's not how that works?
Oh,
shit. No, it's a stretch. Leave me alone.
Okay.
Jenny's just giving me a weird look.
Yours?
I don't know why. My best. I was thinking while he was talking. I was listening as well.
Oh, sure you were.
Hey. Nice save.
Right. I did hear all of it. Okay. I got it. What I use the most, oddly, is probably building construction.
You were a big BC
I can
girl.
see that.
That's right, yeah.
And those are things that you learn that you can use every day. I mean, we built a house from the foundation up. I mean, you had somebody come in for the foundation, and we clearly had to have an electrician there to monitor it. But
you can, put in trim, you can fix drywall, you can install.
And
she's the one that helped me put in tiling.
Yeah, I can tile, and all that stuff was very useful. I don't know, it gave me the most, probably it's not what I was good at it, but clearly biology I just loved biology.
Really?
I know you took.
Well, I should have. I took the damn thing 3 freaking times. Same teacher.
Ooh.
The third time I took it, he would throw up these little quizzes, these little by the way, a little trivia question. Anybody who knows the answer gets some extra credit. Mr. Watson, you're not allowed to answer them. Because by the third time I kind of knew it,
Yeah.
But,
So with biology, Zach and I took the same class, I think, junior year or something.
Why did you take biology junior year? I thought it was a freshman course.
Was it? Or maybe I'm thinking chem. I'm thinking
chem is third.
Disregard. Biology I pass.
Biology
so this is a chem story, but it's still science-ish.
Geeky guy with the glasses?
Yeah, very tall. Zach.
No. Not the student.
No, you wouldn't know.
Are you talking about Spencer?
No, Martin.
Oh.
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
Okay.
And Martin, there was no Martin there.
Okay, well, that's good.
So
he's way younger than us. He's a small child. So
yeah.
all the teachers that were there when we were there are gone.
Yeah, so Zach and I, in class, I wasn't a dumb kid. I was able to get all my tests. I'd usually get B's, maybe C's on hard events. There was one thing, and I think it was partially algebra because I couldn't get my head around. Yep, that was exactly it.
I was
moles.
Great.
I couldn't do moles.
In chemistry, and we got to moles because it's a chemical equation.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
And
my brain couldn't wrap around it. So it got to the point. I would go to the teacher. We were going over it all, and I went over everything else, like after class, after school. She's like, "You get the premise. You just can't put it together." I'm like, "I'm sorry, I can't." She looked at me and says, "That's fine. Just copy off of Zach on tomorrow's test."
Yeah, see, I wish
I was like, thank God.
I mean, because that's my math problem. I mean, I had honors English, and then, I was failing math over and over and over again. Yeah, and then I'd go freshman year, and I had bad teachers. I had Seth.
Oh boy.
3 times.
Oh my God! What did you do?
And I had Sloan once, and that
Sloan was cool.
Do it on your own, Sloan.
Yeah.
Because you just had to figure it out on your own. But I went freshman year to the math lab, and they'd always ask me, what part don't you understand? I don't understand any of it.
Yeah.
You don't
Basic
understand.
concept.
You need to start at the beginning. Well, there's got to be a section. Okay, the section that has numbers in it, that's the section that I don't get.
Can I tell you that I had Sloan for basic math junior year? Because I flunked out of algebra and I flunked out of basic math. I was not a good student, and I flunked out of basic math because I wasn't paying attention. I didn't care.
Well, I had 051, 052, and 053, and then 061, 062, and 063 math in college.
Really?
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, that's adding.
Starts adding and subtracting. I did adding and subtracting of whole numbers. And then I took multiplication and division of whole numbers.
Wow.
And then I finally, I think by like 063, made it to fractions.
And you're obviously good at it. It's just the way that they teach it.
No, I'm not. I'm number dyslexic.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can't. I just can't. I can't remember a number for 3 seconds. If I was given a list of numbers, they're gone.
Wow.
I have no.
See, I could do the numbers. It's when you're throwing in. Oh yeah, here's an imaginary number, X and Y. Fuck off.
This plus blank equals this. Well,
I don't care.
Yeah.
I have
that's
a
why
calculator.
I can't balance a checkbook. I mean, I understand the concept. I can get the concept of it, but the numbers just are gone.
By the way, for any little kids who might be listening to this, first of all, smack your parents because you shouldn't be listening to this. But second of all, when they say that you need to learn algebra and you need to learn abstract math and whatnot, When you get into the real world and you have a real job and you need to figure out real numbers, you use a goddamn calculator.
Or the interwebs.
Or the interwebs, or you use your freaking phone that has a calculator built into it, because you don't need to write it all down and throw the numbers around. You need the answer now.
However, there are professions, and mine's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I will pull out my phone when I can. However, I have to do med math in my head in the back of a fucking rig.
And not only medications, but you need to know like chest compressions and stuff like that.
Well,
and,
whatever. That's just remembering. That's stupid.
Yeah.
But I mean, you need to know this is milligram per kilogram at 0.1 milligram per kilogram for a 52 kilogram kid or whatever.
And that's
and okay, yeah. Now you have to do it over 10 minutes,
pounds,
and
because the patient gives you pounds. You do pounds to kilogram.
2.2.
You have to do
or divide by 2.2.
Yeah, so it's complex math.
Now do that in your head.
That's okay.
That's as advanced I get. Now I know my other friends, Pat and Zach, are stupid smart. Mm-hmm. They can do complex math in their freaking head. I'm like, how? How can you do it?
His father can do insane math in his head.
I knew that about Dan.
I just find that that's one of the many things I find amazing. Is also when people like both of you, you're both artistic. You could convey stuff to like a canvas or just drawing. Lauren's the same way. I can't do it. There's something, I don't know, my brain's just different. I cannot draw.
You're a creative guy.
Yeah, well, that's why I write.
Yeah, and that's
writing and photography are my outlets.
Artistic expression is there's no one way to do it. You just put it out.
I know. I'm just saying I'm in awe with people who do these other things or like who are musicians. Even I also can't do that.
Too. I truly
I would love to.
I would love to as well. Although, have you tried to play an instrument? I mean,
You played bass for a while.
I played bass. I tried guitar. I tried drums. I can't.
Yeah, it's not there. I don't have it. I don't know what it is. I can sing to an extent.
Yes, you can.
But
you can sing. You can sing too, can't you?
I can. I could carry a tune, but then windows crack and children scream.
I cried when you were singing the other night. You nailed Bop. I just thought it was fantastic.
God. Stop with the Bop.
I will never stop with the Bop.
I hate you.
By the way,
like
as far as high school tests,
when
I took chemistry, junior year,
yeah,
the big test.
Chemistry was junior year
jackass.
And then I was a senior because everybody was a year younger.
You did 3 years of biology, so you.
So I was a senior. Yes. Okay. The big periodic table test. This was like the mid semester.
That wasn't bad.
Yeah, I was fine with that.
I couldn't memorize any of that stuff. I was terrible at it, and I wasn't even trying because I knew I wasn't going to do it. But I aced the test. Mm-hmm. And as I got up and was walking out, the teacher, Mr. Martin, who didn't particularly care for me, pulled the old, Mr. Watson, how do you think you did? And I stopped and I looked at him for a second. And I thought, do I tell him or do I not tell him? And finally I said, I think I did pretty well. In fact, I think I probably did 100%. Oh, really? You feel that confident? I said, well, you left the table up on the wall. And then I just walked out of the room. Now we're all leaving for Christmas break. He can't not give us our result.
Oh my God.
That was awesome.
I think I got 100%.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking about it. You guys were, you asked about the classes. What did I get the most out of?
Uh-huh.
The class I did worst, aside from math, obviously. My worst class was typing. I had to go in at lunch.
Oh, that's ironic.
To catch up with typing, and I'm a typist.
I asked the other direction. Or I asked that because I went the other direction. That is the class, besides my art classes, that is the class that I am the most glad that I took. Mm-hmm. I think I took the most away from it. Just basic, where to place my fingers on the keyboard. Because my brother, who's a couple years older than me, he hunts and pecks. He's in his 40s.
Dude, I still do that.
And he's a computer programmer. The guy writes code. And he hunts and pecks. And I fly over the keyboard as if it was a musical instrument.
I could beat your ass.
I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could.
I'm probably the fastest typer you know.
Because you probably type 4 times as much as I do on a given day.
I do. But I can more than anyone on any day.
Yeah.
Anyone here. I obviously not in my field, but yeah, fast. And then that class, I could not keep up. Although, again, people of the interweb world, when we were in high school, it was...
Oh, it was a typewriter.
It was a typewriter.
And, I'm sorry, they didn't call it that. It was a word processor.
It was a word processor.
Wait, what?
But, yeah.
It wasn't a computer.
You actually typed, and I had a little tiny box that flipped open, and it had a cellophane sheet with whiteout painted on the back. So then you'd stop typing when you made a mistake, and you'd stick this cellophane sheet. You'd go back one place, and then you'd have to hit the button that you made the mistake with so that it tapped a little whiteout cellophane.
Yeah, if you accidentally typed a Q instead of a T, you would have to go back to where you type the key, put the cellophane on there, hit the Q exactly where you hit it,
right,
and then type the correct letter on top.
So it was hard, and you had the flip book next to you since it wasn't on the computer. You couldn't type a whole line and just hit backspace. I mean, it was like very involved. So you had to type correct because.
What year did you take that?
Yeah, I'd be screwed.
I think I took mine junior year.
Whenever the restraining order was, so.
What do you mean?
Freshman or sophomore?
Oh, see, I took mine. We actually had work
restraining order. No. Go back. Yeah. What?
I don't know. Is that for the world?
Sure. Is it?
I don't know. It's yours.
You don't.
I don't know what we're talking about. Yeah, all right. Let's give it.
But apparently, it's obviously something that happened in your life that you have based time around. So I've got
right.
It
is
like in my life, there's like pre-divorce, pre-mom's marriage, pre-dad's marriage. You know, that like when they got divorced, stuff that happened when my dad or when my parents got a divorce. There's a little circle of time around that. There's a little circle of time around when my mom got married a couple years after that, and another circle of time around when my dad got married when I was in high school. And then stuff in between there's kind of gray and vague and whatnot. But
mine is dad working third shift, dad working days, and then moving.
Sick.
I was too young.
Oh,
I don't remember that.
I've got like a whole big.
Yeah, my father had Guillain-Barré, which your nervous system systematically shuts down until eventually it reboots. Sometimes you have to be in an eye or lung. Sometimes, like my father's case, he just had a cane or had trouble walking, and then his system rebooted.
It did. It was.
However, you still always have nerve damage. So
right.
That's awesome.
He got pretty much to the point he was still able to breathe.
Yeah.
Which is where generally you get put in the hospital
yes.
when you can't breathe. So he got to about right before that point. Oof. So it was pretty tight.
What
and
was this?
Guillain-Barré.
Guillain-Barré.
Okay.
And it is, I mean, the nerves just shut down almost one at a time, one system at a time, until generally speaking, it gets to the point where your body completely does nothing on its own. The hospital keeps you alive, and then little by little, you regain.
It restarts.
So there's no way to treat it?
Nope. You just let it go through its course.
You have to.
That is the treatment.
Right, but you have to have medical support.
Yeah.
And you have no idea how far it's going to go.
Nope.
Correct. No.
Oh my cow.
So he slowly watched. I mean, we watched, and this was my senior year of high school.
I'm so glad I don't remember any of this.
And it was hard.
Wow.
I have a hard enough time with his strokes.
It was a long because he was angry and he was scared.
Well, I would think,
Right. Oh, I know. So he just, he's kind of a crotchety little gnome anyway. So at that time, it was just a little bit
more.
It was more. It was screaming about a bowl of cereal in the sink. It was just you didn't know what you were going to get.
That was one of the things I remember about when my mom was circling the drain the last couple months before she died. She never really got to the stage of just acceptance and that I'm going to die, which I don't know that I'd ever be able to achieve that. She was so pissed off about so many things. I mean, she would get mad about the tiny little things, but she was just overall pissed about, anytime she would hear about something that was going to happen in the news or something, she'd be like, well, I'm not going to be around for that. And she'd get furious. It was a loss of control, I think.
It is. Having watched it, though, I think that because it has such an effect on you, maybe that you won't do that.
I think you will, though.
Except that I know that when going through my own problems with cancer, the 2 to 3 weeks before I get my scans, which now they're every 6 months, except now it's been bumped to, instead of getting a full CT scan or a full MRI every 6 months, now it's I'm going to X-rays. They're okay with me just getting X-rays. 2 weeks before I get my scans, I am batshit crazy. I'm squirrely because I'm so sure. I know that the results are going to be fine, but I'm so sure that I've got something awful that I get nuts. I have to apologize to everybody pretty much afterwards. I know it's a problem.
No, we know you going into it, and the thing is, I think the response is physiological. It's not just on people; it's how people react. You could kind of gauge that. You're going to have panic. You're going to have the steps. There are steps, and you could watch people go through it in any sort of either physical or mental trauma. And with like Dad. When we grew up, Dad was an angry little man. I think we talked about this last podcast. Because he worked third shift. He didn't sleep. I didn't get that as a kid.
We didn't do it on the podcast.
No, it was on the podcast. I remember writing it. Yeah. But now that I work a job where I don't sleep most of the time, and I come home, I get it. I and I try my fucking best not to lose my shit, but it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Your body is craving something. It's craving that sleep. It's craving the release of whatever hormones at that point, or just your sleep cycle, and you're a demon.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think all of it is mostly physiological. But
okay.
That's just my look at it.
Well, and you were going through it, so you would know. I
mean, and this is separate. They're two separate things, and
yes.
I get that. I'm just, in general, I think it's all physiological.
They're two different sides of the same coin, but it is on the same coin. Yes. Yeah. I get that.
Well, besides that, I also wanted to, because we're kind of in a bummer mood, and I don't want to go straight to something stupid, but
How
we were talking,
Cubs?
And losing. No, we were talking about tearjerkers earlier.
Well, and the reason I brought this up is that we were talking about this. I was talking to one of my nephews, and he was getting perturbed because he didn't understand any of the punchlines that my brother and my dad and I were throwing back and forth at each other. Because you know what it's like when you're talking in movie code. You can say the punchline, and the joke gets recited in your head. You know,
But that's pretty much only with you guys, though. I mean, generally speaking.
But if I say to you,
Mitch, this is Kent. This is what happens when you get sexually frustrated.
The sheriff's a gong. You know what I mean, the joke is there. I don't need to say it. But my one of my sister's kids was saying something about what the hell are you guys talking about? So we started talking about all these different movies that he had never seen. He had never seen any of the classic comedies, and that made me think about, if you've got a list of the all-time go-to classic comedies, what do you have a list of all-time go-to tearjerkers? Like I'm the kind of guy, like, every once in a while I need to cry. And I can't, for some reason.
We know that you're a movie crier.
I am.
We know that I am.
I will.
Not a movie crier.
Really?
But
neither is Lauren. I'm the one who's sobbing, and my girlfriend. What are you doing?
Commercials. I cry at.
Really?
Oh, fucking Hallmark! God damn those guys.
Happy stuff gets me more than the sad. Sad movies, I generally don't cry at, but I did. One was tough.
Which one?
Bridges of Madison County.
Oh my God! Can I tell you?
That was
this
hard.
I'm not going to name any names here. My first fiance, she went and visited a friend of hers, and they came back saying that she had seen the Bridges of Madison County when she was visiting, and it sucked. It was just the worst movie. It was so dull. Blah blah blah. I'm like, wow, I really like Clint Eastwood. It seems like a winner to me.
Well, and I don't like that type of movie. But I watched it with Chrissy, and she was a basket case crying, but I was crying. I'll admit, I wasn't nuts crying, but I was crying a little bit.
I decided, since my mother had it on DVD, I'll pop it in. I'll see how bad it is.
I know how bad it gets.
Like half an hour into the movie, I'm like, what is wrong with it? And they're at the intersection, and I'm like, get out of the truck! Get out of the truck! It's just heart-rendering.
Beaches too.
Beaches.
Can you make it through Beaches?
Holy fuck!
I don't know either of these movies.
Okay, all right. We're gonna sit down.
Well,
no, because I don't like these movies.
I don't like tearjerkers either, and I don't watch them anymore. But I watched these eons ago, probably when they came out.
What else do I have in here? Shenandoah.
No, but you've probably watched Shenandoah.
Jimmy Stewart.
Oh, I might have.
The Civil War.
Yes, I have, because that wasn't that the that was based off of. God, there's another movie. Same book. It's based off of a book.
Is it?
And yeah, there was a new one. It ended up being like a 5-hour movie.
I didn't know that.
Cold Mountain.
Okay.
I think that sounds right.
I don't know.
I just feel like Shenandoah was at some point in our
collection, with Mom and Dad.
Collection.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
So Shenandoah's another. Oh my God, there's two.
Oh, that was at your mom's, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. That was like our first. Oh my God. Yes. Okay.
First date.
Yeah.
Shenandoah.
Back in high school, we dated.
Oh, you guys are so cute.
Yeah. That's how I know he was in biology.
I know.
Yeah. That was when a friend of ours said, "Hey, do you mind if I ask out one of your ex-girlfriends?" I'm like, "No, I don't care, because there's this girl that we dated briefly and it was no big deal." Okay, great. So we're coming over to your house Saturday or Friday night, so get a date. What? So
he called the person that he knew he had no interest in and thought would be safe.
And now 25 years later we're best friends. So
yeah, it works.
Okay, so there's that Shenandoah. Have you ever seen Men Don't Leave? It's got a very young Chris O'Donnell and a young What is Joan Cusack?
I feel like I have.
It's the premise of the movie is she's a single mom. She's a stay-at-home mom. Her husband is a working-class contractor. He is fairly well-to-do. They live in a fairly nice house. She's got 3 kids. 2 kids? 3 kids. I don't know. 2 kids. And
because that's the same.
I haven't seen it a lot. Because
this
is one of those movies I would have to build up to see this. Like if I was flipping channels, I saw it. I was like, no. He dies. The husband gets killed on the site one day, and they don't have enough insurance. They don't have anything. They lose the house. They need to move away. They need to do, and so it's basically just her trying to raise her 2 kids, and the one kid kind of gets all emo and independent, and then the other kid just wants daddy back, and it's holy fuck, you won't be needing your heart for a while. Along those same lines,
what was the one with Dustin Hoffman? Where he's going through a divorce and fighting for full custody.
Kramer versus Kramer.
Yeah.
Holy shit,
snaps. That hurts. That
Kramer
hurts.
Versus Kramer's another one. Because you basically see, this is a guy, these are 2 people who obviously used to care so much about each other, and now they're using their kid as a fucking weapon, and as a child of divorce, we've seen it happen from the other end, And then, let's see, years ago, when my dad's cousin got the new big screen TV projection.
TV. Yes, I love those.
Yeah,
to the 3/4 of your room.
Yes.
And you have to. Yeah, that's right. Because the projector.
You have to sit appropriately.
You can have the projector was underneath a table, so you could use 3/4 of the table, but you couldn't sit on the one side because that's a goddamn projector. So they popped it. They had a whole bunch of different DVDs because they had the new DVD player. It was brand new.
They didn't have those large discs.
Laser discs?
No, it wasn't laser discs. It was DVD. And for some reason, we didn't watch, I don't know, like The Matrix or something. No, which would show off the beautiful clarity of the DVD. No, we watched When a Man Loves a Woman, starring Meg Ryan and, not Raul Julia, what's the guy from Ocean's 11? Andy Garcia.
Oh, really?
She is they're married. She has 2 kids.
And he owns a casino.
They're his stepkids. Yeah. And then George Clooney comes in and buys the place.
Perfect.
I've
sure I've seen this movie before.
That's a good one. Yeah, it's weird.
I'm good with that. I love that movie.
When they gave him the Ocean's 11 script, he was like, I feel like I've done this before. He's actually an airline pilot, but she's a staggering alcoholic. And for those of you who are used to seeing Meg Ryan in the floopy, cute movies where she, ends up with Tom Hanks and has the clean breakup with the boyfriend beforehand or whatever, this is not that movie. This is a different Meg Ryan. And there's a scene at the end at an AA meeting, and it's just one of those, I'm sitting around with my family, and we're all pretending to not cry. And from the back of the room, you hear like, I think that was the dog. Everybody's crying at this goddamn movie. It's just awful as far as tear jerks. You can't, if you watch that movie and you don't cry, then you're your soul is changing.
See, I think I agree with Jennie. Is like I can't physically watch these movies. Like all the ones you list.
No
I hate them. I hate them. I don't need to.
Don't.
However, the ones that I cry at are like the chick flicks, like Amelie or Footlong Hero. Those were like, yeah, there's kind of a down, but there's usually a happy ending, and they're cutesies. I love them, and I do.
It's the same thing with books, though. I mean, I can't be in a book club because I refuse to read.
The Hatchet, or we're going to murder all these people.
Well, no, that's horribly written, but generally they read like the Oprah Book Club books that are so hard and so depressing.
The Road. Pat's like, read The Road. It's fine. No, it's not.
I'm like, fine.
The book was meh at very best, and there was no ending. I'm like, whatever.
Of these books about stolen. I mean, my neighbor was talking about a book club they were reading, or a book they were reading for book club about stolen art from the Jews in France during Nazi occupation.
Monuments Men?
No. I mean,
it's a fantastic.
I'm sure it's a fantastic book.
It was okay.
This was some kind of
movie was alright. The book was way better.
Yeah, no, that actually sounded good. And I don't know. They read The Kite Runner. They read anything that's on those best lists. But to me, they just feel so sad. Or those stupid Jodi Picoult.
There is one Oprah book that you and I both like. Was the Mitch is the author 10 Stories of Heaven or 10
you talking about 5 people you meet in heaven?
Is that it?
I think it's 10 people you meet in heaven.
Yeah, it's 10.
Is it?
I think it was 5 because they actually made a movie out of it starring John Voight.
Oh, I didn't.
But no, that's a very well done one.
It is, and then the best book. Seriously, I don't. We're probably not even meant to be talking about books that I brought up, but
that's fine.
What about? Now I'm not going to remember the book that I gave you.
The Giver.
The Giver.
No.
Because fuck, that book tore me up.
Yeah, that was hard.
Ever.
Oh yeah.
Oh shoot.
No, it's the name of the place.
Nevermore.
I thought what? Yeah, Nevermore.
Was it Nevermore?
Yeah. Oh my God, that was fantastic.
The premise is that when you die, you go to the Nevermore. You go to this next level, and then you live your life in reverse from the age that you died at.
You loaned me that book because Kirsten cried. She didn't like the book so much.
Kirsten couldn't read it. She only got through. My daughter's has Asperger's, so she's like high functioning autistic. And she doesn't usually feel anything, and she reads those depressing books that I won't read, and she loves
because
them.
they trigger things in her that she can't get otherwise.
She's fine, but this book, which I thought was the most uplifting.
Oh, I loved it. It was great.
I loved that
but
story.
That's more of our things.
She couldn't.
She hated
at the time
because she didn't like the whole concept of their whole concept of the afterlife in that book.
I don't know if it's that. I have no idea.
I don't know.
But the book, you live backwards, and then you're put in as an infant when you're ready to be reborn.
And you have full consciousness the whole time.
Yeah.
Right, you're born as a baby. You're put into the river and reborn, which we love. I mean, we're all since we tend to be more towards the Buddhist side of things. We have this.
I guess
other lives, or like, hey, I've done this before.
So that means more, I think, to us.
Yeah.
And she actually has said that reincarnation is Kirsten has said that reincarnation is the one that makes the most sense to her.
I'm not sure that it makes the most sense to me realistically. I don't see that anything can live beyond.
Well, mine's on a much broader scale as far as like being reused by the universe, and that's as close to reincarnation as you can get.
Well, that's kind of the whole premise: is a candle burning at both ends and forever lasting. That's reincarnation at this point.
That's why I don't want to be cremated. I don't even.
Oh, I will. I think it'll be ironic at best.
I was fine with being cremated until I saw Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, no
shit.
Which
one?
With the last season.
I'm flaking. Which episode?
When Clara Oswald.
Yes, she's my Kara. She cares, so I don't have to.
When her boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
The soldier. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Danny Pink.
When Danny Pink.
Oh yeah.
They said he's on the other side. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
You just had to be cremated.
Yeah.
See, and I was like, now I'm afraid of being cremated, and I don't even think that I have any consciousness beyond my body.
I don't even want to.
I think the consciousness will be separate from the body, so I don't care.
I can't imagine it will be. It is my brain and my synapses and whatever else that's.
I just want my body to be chewed up and used by the universe as quickly as possible. Turn me into dirt food. Turn that dirt food.
If you put fakeness in you and you last there for 100 years. Yeah.
If I'm a plastic soldier.
Oh yeah, I'm not interested in that.
Nope.
Just don't just put me in the ground and let me rot. Cardboard box. As soon as possible.
Well, they're kind of doing that now. Have you heard that?
Yeah, like straight pine boxes, no lacquer, no nothing.
Yeah,
that is such a racket. Is the funeral industry when? Oh yeah, you have to spend $5,000 on this casket that's lacquered and beautiful, and it'll seal the. Fuck that.
Well,
let me go back to dirt.
Shall we tell the story of our grandma?
Which grandma?
Well, I was gonna say grandpa. He just said, "Fuck it, put me in some Tupperware or some used butter container."
No, that's grandma's story because what happened is our mom, when our grandma died, I can't remember. Yes, it was after you were born, but you were very small.
Itty bitty.
Yeah. When she died in Florida, my mom went down to Florida, and they were going to cremate her. So she went to the crematorium, and they were trying to sell her the urns, and the urns were ridiculously priced. And they knew they were going to mail Grandma to her sister in Kansas.
That's funny when you say it like that.
That's where she was going to go. So Mom and Uncle Butch had the conversation with the person at the crematorium. Well, what is she in right now? I want her in whatever she's in right now. I don't want to buy something else. Clearly, she's not just sitting on the ground somewhere. So what did you put her in? And they're like, well, it's kind of like a Cool Whip container. So she's like, well, then I'll take the Cool Whip container. Perfect. That's all I want. Whatever she's in right now. So they actually took her in.
It's kind of better what Grandpa ended up in.
Grandpa. Well, Grandpa.
I'll tell that story.
Okay.
As that's my side. But
well, Grandma got mail to Kansas in the Cool Whip container through the regular mail. And they didn't tell the mail what it was. So.
That's hilarious.
Cool Whip.
So when we were moving from Palatine to Crystal Lake, I remember I was still dating Audra, I think, because she came in and one of the boxes was labeled office supplies / Grandpa. Yeah. Oh, was it pictures of Grandpa? No, he's in a urine specimen jar in there.
Oh my
God!
God!
Yeah, we just found it at the hospital, so we were going to use that because my dad, my mom, and myself all worked at the hospital at that point. So we just took that and we're like, psh, yoink, because my uncle had part of them, mom and dad had part of them,
right.
and
well, then
Louise
I took him out. I removed him from the urine specimen container,
like a good granddaughter.
Right. I found a little, not an urn, but it had the shape and it had a lid.
Yeah.
And I put him in the container, and then I put in a piece of corn, and I put in a machine.
He was a farmer.
He was.
I thought you were just being a bitch.
No, yeah.
I was like, is that something people do to be mean?
Just a piece of, like, the stalk, and then I put in there also a little machine screw and a little nut.
Oh, that makes sense. Too.
And then I super glued the lid on. Because I thought, I put the stuff, he was a machinist.
Familiar with.
I mean,
that makes sense.
He was a mechanic.
Do you remember our friend Vic passed away? His casket, let's see, what did he have? He was buried in his Mac Manor jacket.
Right. He had whiskey, beer, and which is for an alcoholic kind of.
It was ironic.
Yeah, he died of alcohol poisoning, but he had a pack of marbles in there.
Yes, he did.
Like his favorite lighter. Couple other things.
There was something racing or something, wasn't in there too?
Yes.
People
his racing jacket.
There was. There's a lot in there. It's pretty full.
Yeah.
I would mention a pretty full casket.
Yeah. So, but
I would think there's probably porn in there somewhere too. Somebody.
Yeah, he had porn everywhere.
Oh my God, the porn at this guy's house. First of all, we found every format of porn that you could find. There was DVD, Blu-ray, CD, VHS, Betamax, 8mm, and I didn't see a projector, which means this creepy fuck was holding this shit up to a light.
Oh yeah.
There was magazines. I mean, just whatever you could find.
Is that Charlie Chaplin getting a hand job?
Oh.
The hell?
Well, what fell out of the ceiling when we were cleaning his
Condoms.
teenage room?
That was in the Dave and Laura's basement. Which was his
room when he was a teenager.
There were stacks of penthouses. There were some condom wrappers. That was his house, and on top of the porn, weapons, so many weapons.
Oh, everywhere.
Guns, knives,
explosives.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, he would build stuff just randomly. What are you doing? Oh, nothing. He's sitting there smoking a cigarette in Laura's garage,
building
a TNT bomb. Yeah. Do. No, it's fine. They're not reactive yet. Do. What? I'm like, I'm going to slowly walk away and close this door. That was like one of my junior high moments. I'm like, yeah, I'm just not even going to be around this.
I think that's right. I'm not even a professional yet, and I know that's wrong.
I was in the pool at Dave and Laura's house.
Oh, yeah, when I almost died? Yeah, that was great.
There was a loud explosion, and I had just inadvertently, for whatever reason, we're just horseplaying in the pool, and I shoved you away from me, and you scooted back like 3 or 4 feet, and a giant chunk of cinder block landed right where you just were.
When he says chunk, he means half of a cinder block landed. He's
like,
well, I was expecting an explosion to go elsewhere. Apparently, he put this on top of the explosive he was using, thinking of some other effect was going to happen. Yeah, no, he launched that and almost killed me. Like, oh, okay.
Well, that's not the first nor the last
time
and someone almost died.
That's what we call Mac parties, because someone usually comes close to death.
How many people, raise your hands if you've fallen into the bonfire or been engulfed in flames at some point? You've been engulfed in flames.
At least 2. 3 of us.
You and Dan were
all 3 of us have either jumped over a bonfire, been engulfed in flames.
I've not done anything intentionally. I've not jumped over a bonfire. I've not stood.
I have jumped over the bonfire.
Honestly, people throw crap in the bonfire.
That's the problem,
around your person.
Who knew? Hairspray canister will blow up when it's heated, you know?
Obviously.
Yeah.
And explosive.
Well, okay, so somebody was supposed to be at my husband's bachelor party babysitting the whole situation, and didn't he on my wedding day have burns on his neck from some exploding object?
That was not the wedding day. That was
rehearsal.
No. This was like right when you guys had gotten engaged, and there was a Coke can. And this was his stupid. Okay, this was Dan's.
No, but on my wedding he had burns on it. There was something.
Maybe it was right before that.
Yeah.
I was down at the fire. It was Dan, myself, and my first fiance. And there was a Coke
I like
can.
it that we call them first.
In
my
second.
First,
And technically as
third.
three, yeah.
There was a Coke can in the fire. And I don't know if Dan didn't realize that it was a full can of Coke or
He
something.
must not have.
He thought it was just a
not
can.
He's not, doesn't take risks in that way.
No, he doesn't.
So if he had known that it was full and he'd known that it was going to explode, he wouldn't have been there. Plus, he doesn't drink, so clearly it wasn't a drunk thing. He
is not going to die after following the words, "Hey guys, watch this.
Hold my beer."
Yeah.
Hey, hold my beer. I'll be back a second. That never ends well.
I want to try.
All of us, at least, I know John and I have done that.
Die.
Yeah,
horrible
death.
Going to die that way, or oh my God, there's too many of them.
I really hope they catch it on camera because that's the way I want to go. Holy shit, that was stupid and awesome. Yeah, he had a good run.
Yeah. So he took a stick and poked a Coke can, and it ruptured and blew molten Coke all over him. And thank God he had those giant Coke bottle glasses back then.
I know.
Which is so ironic now.
Yeah.
The Coke blew up and the Coke bottle glasses saved him.
And I just remember my first fiance being like, I was so sure Jennie was going to kill us because we were here when it happened.
Well, it was his fault, but I mean, it's not. He doesn't really do things out of stupidity or
by the way,
drunkenness.
But before I forget, there were 3 movies, by the way, that I had picked that are not just tearjerkers for the sake of being tearjerkers. They're good movies all around. Okay. Field of Dreams. Yeah. Which is just a fantastic movie all the way around, and the scene at the end. Hey, Dad, you want to play some catch?
Yeah.
Of course I want to play some catch.
Those kind of movies I like.
Yeah. Fair to Remember. One of my favorites.
Is that with Cary Grant?
Wow.
Cary Grant.
Yes.
Fantastic movie. One. Very funny all the way through. It's got a lot of great moments. He rediscovers himself as a man, and then that scene at the end when he finds the painting in her bedroom, and oh my fucking God, you're an asshole. And then you've seen it. I don't think you've seen it. Some Kind of Wonderful, Eric Stoltz.
Oh, no. For heaven's sakes. Well, okay, so sad. What about Masked, Eric Stoltz?
Oh, that's it.
But which, by the way, Eric Stoltz is also one of those actors who not many people know, but he's in fucking everything.
Yeah,
he is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Pulp Fiction.
Yep.
He's the guy who sells all the drugs. He was the original Marty McFly.
Really?
Yeah.
That I didn't know about.
I don't know how that ended.
He was in something else at the time. I thought there was a conflict and it wasn't working.
Well, that almost happened to Michael J. Fox. I know NBC let him film Family Ties during the day and then Back to the Future at night, and he was getting no sleep for weeks.
Holy shit!
Oh yeah.
There was something with Eric Stoltz. I thought it was a conflict. I don't know though. Somebody out there will know.
I don't know.
And I'll be completely wrong. And it's on.
Hey, no, we have that a lot. I've gone back, and when I had these, John and I are horribly wrong on like 90% of
stuff.
Like
bring up these books, and we can't remember the name of the book.
And we've got the world of the interweb right in our hands here.
Well, but you don't want to stop talking and look something up.
No, we can.
Yeah, we need like a control room doing this.
Let's hire a producer.
No. So they're talking about stupid moments. I remember when I was in junior high, had Zach and I, we would modify Nerf weapons. Meaning we would like tighten springs, add more air chambers in, or like bigger air chambers, and change darts and stuff. So we had this hot glue gun. At the same time,
okay, he has a Nerf gun and a hot glue gun.
No, it gets better because we also had there was these things called air hogs, which were little chargeable airplanes.
I remember those.
And you just little batteries, throw them, and they just go, and you'd have fun.
Yeah.
Well, for some reason, I had that. And either I was holding it or Zach was holding it, but then I had the glue gun in one hand, and Pat was on the other side. I put the glue gun to the propeller, so hot glue goes all over Pat's face.
Oh,
and it's like a napalm. He can't get it off.
That's the money shot.
So he's running around screaming because he has this liquid molten glue on his face.
That's friendship.
Oh, no, it's awesome. He laughs at it now, but my God, it's so stupid. Oh, he wanted to kill me.
Is that why he's chatting?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all Jason. Jason broke Pat.
Yeah, not
what did that?
him. Well, we've had some stupid moments.
Who hasn't?
Lots of stupid moments, in fact.
How are we doing?
We got like 10 minutes. We were talking about books real quick. I wanted to bring up one other book. My friend Quinn. I've been reading quite often lately. I fell off, now I'm back on my books, and
it goes in stages like that.
It really does. I was having a hard time, and he's like, "Well, this is a sci-fi book. I don't know if I'm feeling that right now." It's like,
but
no,
it's not.
I know
it's
not.
It's a people story book.
It is,
yeah.
And he's like, "You're gonna love it. You're gonna love the character," and it's called The Martian. It's gonna be a movie probably by the time this comes out, or pretty soon. Yeah.
I think it comes out in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
I'll post this tomorrow.
Not this one.
You gotta edit it. Never mind.
So it's pretty much an astronaut gets left on Mars. I got hooked on the first sentence, which is just, I'm pretty much fucked. At that, I'm like, okay, this is my kind of humor. Yeah. I'm in, and it is hilarious.
It's a really good one.
It's just dry humor, and he knows he's boned. He's trying to make the best of it.
You've got me reading Ready Player One.
I love that book.
I'm about 40% through it, and I'm loving it. It's so good. You would like a lot of 80s references.
That's all the book is 80s references.
Yes.
Is it, what kind of genre? Is it sci-fi now?
Sort of geeky sci-fi. It's like
everything takes
sci-fi.
place in a virtual reality.
Kind of, yeah. But
most part.
But it's so funny.
Oh my god, it is.
That they throw at this. I mean,
I like the war game one.
Yes. Yeah, and I don't want to give away too much of there because I mean, each little surprise that hits you, you're like, oh my god, that's
and it's like dead
that's
on.
so good.
Like John mentioned this, he had to have had like the movies or like a Dungeon Master's Guide in front of him.
There was one level where one of the characters had to go through one level of Dungeons and Dragons, and he talks about how accurate it was to the book, and I'm thinking to myself, there's no way he would have written it that way if it wasn't 100% accurate to how it was in whatever Dungeon Master's Guide. But all these little details.
That's how all authors are. All of them do all that homework. You're like, how does an author know the exact steps that
I'm pretty sure he's a geek.
Well, not only that, you and I write. And do you know how much we've looked up about space and read about space for our book?
He's got a wall downstairs that's just full of
references. And we had to change a bunch of stuff because we realized how wrong we were on locations of astronomical bodies. Like, I guess we got to rewrite this portion.
Yeah.
It's just part of writing.
I think it is. I mean, they have so many references, or so many people that they go to get the information for whatever area of expertise they need.
Did you ever read Tom Clancy?
I could not. And I will open the door where the handle was made in China in 1924 from a man named Chen. And Chen was impoverished.
Go back to Jack Ryan, fucker. I want to know what's going on. Yeah.
No, I haven't read those. I read
Clive Cussler.
I liked those.
Because to me that was like knight in shining armor. This guy's going to go, he's going to save the damsel, and he's going to fight the bad guy.
That's how I want all my stories.
Perfect.
I either want humor or I want
you would like Ready Player One then.
You would like Ready Player One.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then it always brings us back, if you want that kind of genre, Dresden.
Oh, I love
Dresden. When's our next Dresden?
He wrote another
series story?
Yeah, it's something, The Windless Cutlass or something like that.
I want to say the next Dresden comes out in is that November? No,
that's
Thomas
when the
Lee
other
Gelsey
one
comes
does.
out in October. Mm-hmm. Sorry. Yeah, that's my other thing.
I have another one that I just finished reading. It was a omnibus. There was 3 books. I just plowed through it. It was like 600 pages or something. Very Dresden-esque humor. Like that very beaten down, whatever, I'm going to go through this. And I liked it. And I was able to finish him about a week. And it's about a guy who has these seizures and goes to this other place and gets murdered constantly. And then he wakes up. And it's weird, and it goes into more to that. That's like the first book. The second one's a little different. The third one's different. And I ordered the 4th to finish the series, but very well done. And boy, is it Dresden humor. Like verbatim Dresden humor.
Which is good, because the Dresden ones are good. For somebody like me who's not, you guys are sci-fi nuts. Yeah. I don't love sci-fi.
Yeah.
But I do like Dresden.
What is that called, though? It is a genre. Fantasy. It's urban fantasy.
Oh, okay.
Because it takes place in modern cities.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're going to a bookstore, it's going to be under sci-fi fantasy.
But, which also, for both of you, there's another one, author who's British, who the very first book actually takes homage to Dresden, and Jim Butcher supports him. It's called the Alex Versus novels. They take place in London. Very good. I have them. I'll lend it the first one to you.
I haven't read anything in a
Very
while.
good.
Those do sound
because you could plow through it in a day.
And I like fantasy. I guess I do like fantasy much more than I like sci-fi.
Yeah.
Terry Pratchett.
Right.
Well, but that's satire.
I think it is.
Yes,
I mean, it is totally a commentary.
It's
I love it. It is. You know what's awesome about Terry Pratchett? It's going to be exactly like Gulliver's Travels in that it's going to hold up in 200 years.
Some of them,
Some of it is so specifically socially oriented. I mean, he's got references that only,
like
that are
moving pictures,
modern London. I mean, it's very.
But you talk about like the postal service. You talk about
which is not going to be around either. So if you think about it that way,
I didn't really think about it.
A lot of the stuff, currency in the form of actual
money instead of just here's my phone, swipe that.
So a lot
of
that stuff
I guess you're right. I didn't
around.
think about that.
Although, but the themes of that, I mean, people are still going to.
Well,
insurance.
Oh, insurance.
Yeah.
Insurance. And, the Hunger Games as well. I mean, the point of that, which I don't love,
a dystopian.
I didn't like those, it is a dystopian, and it's talking about America as...
Yeah, this broken up conglomerate of states.
Well, right, and are poor, but
yeah.
I mean, the main city is pretty much America. And then the other ones, the poor countries, or Mexico is another, it's not, they're not American, America's only the rich one with the weird hair and makeup.
Yeah, and they make themselves puke on food, whereas these other ones are starving to death. And
that's the rest of the world. Yeah. That's our clothes manufacturers and our food makers.
No, weird.
But I think that's going to hold up more.
I guess.
Probably.
I believe that,
because the world is always going to be that way.
I'm going to have to hold myself back the first time somebody introduces their kid named Katniss, because you know what's going to happen because of these fucking
things, that won't be bad. And when you get Petra, or Petra?
Peeta.
Oh, Peeta?
It's Peeta.
And I haven't met Hermione.
Is this real or is this not?
Oh, they're Hermione's, but that's from...
Well, that's older,
that's
but
Shakespeare.
The reason they're happening
really?
now...
That was a Shakespearean?
Oh, yeah.
Hermione.
Yeah,
Hermione's
a
Shakespearean name.
But the reason it's happening now is because of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Right. I know. Well, generally speaking, I mean, there was Mercedes all along. Not from movies, but that's Shakespeare.
Olivia.
Yeah.
Hey, nanny, hey. Splash. What? No, nothing? That's a Simpsons reference.
Oh.
Lisa's Olivia, who goes crazy in Shakespeare. Runs out the water and goes splash into the creek.
Okay. All right. And Wendy, which was a name that was created for Peter Pan. Didn't exist before Peter Pan.
Bullshit.
I did read that.
Absolutely.
Really? Mm-hmm. That's actually really cool.
Isn't it? I've known one Wendy in my life, I think.
Wendy.
I have not.
That's fine. She was my third grade teacher's daughter, and
Correct.
I ended
That's
up going to high school with her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And by the way, having a conversation with our friend Liz, that I've known since grade school, we were talking about. She just brought up our third grade teacher, or my third grade teacher, just on a fluke, and it kind of struck me as weird because the same person we were just talking about. Because this is the one teacher that I had that really got through to me because I hated students, bringing us full circle back to talking about school school again. I didn't hate students. Well, I kind of hated students too, but I hated teachers. You're right. I was not a fan of school in any way, shape, or form. She stands out as one of the giant shining lights of teachers who made me not feel like a complete total asshat every time I talked or every time I was in class. And then she mentioned the same thing 30 years later. And I was like, okay, all right, well, I guess it wasn't just me, and she really was kind of a special teacher,
Yeah, which brings us back to the beginning topic of what did you say stands out from school?
Well, not classes, but what teachers?
I guess so.
A lot of things was just teachers, it wasn't just classes.
I'm going to go ahead and say Mrs. Ottenbacher, my third grade teacher, giant beacon of awesomeness in my life.
So it was the person and not the place or the thing.
It was her.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Mine was Mrs. Lee in my art class because she actually said, hey, this is really good, you should work on it, and that's the first time I had heard that from school, ever.
Isn't it amazing what a little positive reinforcement can do?
Yeah, and not bullshit positive reinforcement, I had that too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're doing great. Oh yeah, you're an asshole.
Nothing like a little bit of condescension.
Well, teacher-wise, and then we'll wrap up.
No teacher.
Really?
There was
nothing.
I went to 13 schools, and I was always the new kid. And even though I excelled and could get A+ in my class, if I'd go back the next year, they had no idea who I was.
Hey, I love that feeling.
Tell me real quick before we cut here, because we talked last week or a couple weeks or in our last podcast with Sammy about Common Core, and she was talking about how 5th grade in Texas should be the same thing as 5th grade in Illinois.
And it's not.
And what was your example? You took what class 3 times?
I had science. As for science, I did the clouds 3 separate times between Illinois and Texas. And then I was behind in math. I never did multiplication moving between Texas and Illinois. I skipped multiplication altogether. Texas was ahead in English as well as science, but it was behind in math. Illinois was ahead in math, but behind
in science
and English.
See, that would make sense for
that's where Common Core makes sense.
So at that, we're going to end it. Thank you for listening to Apples in the Sink podcast. Please follow us on Facebook, Apples in the Sink, and our Twitter.
Yeah, and for the people who join me on Periscope at CYRAX2112.
Also,
when I do my live comics, that's fun. Thank you for joining.
Podcasts. What did you post them under?
We have podcasts. You know what? Go to Apples in the Sink on YouTube to listen to our first 7 podcasts.
Yeah, we'll have the next up to 10
next 3
by the end of this weekend.
Yes, this weekend sometime. So
thank you very much. Have a lovely night.
Good night.
Bye.